ultimately the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it and that he could do well for a little bit. And then eventually just deal with the fact that Anthony Joshua is going to connect with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan has sparked major controversy after shocking claims surfaced that Jake Paul was questioned by authorities following his brutal knockout loss to Anthony Joshua. What Rogan said about potential jail time has completely divided the boxing community. The UFC commentator reportedly did not hold back at all, with listeners claiming he delivered one of the most intense rants in his podcast history. According to those accounts, Rogan accused Jake Paul of destroying boxing and suggested he should face serious consequences.
Alcoholics, you could only take so much. Like that one that he got from Joshua, there was a lot of concussions in that one punch. That was real damage. Like if someone's breaking your jaw in 2 places, the inside of your fucking head that's gonna get you. Because at a certain point in time, the price you pay is eventually not worth it.
Rogan didn't just criticize Jake Paul for damaging the sport, he went much further. He stated that if any of the accusations turned out to be true, the YouTuber-turned-boxer deserved to rot in jail for what he has done to a sport that has existed for more than a century. The controversy began when rumors spread throughout boxing circles that investigators were examining suspicious circumstances surrounding the December 19th fight in Miami between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Insiders claim Rogan's reaction was so explosive that even his production team was shocked by the raw emotion and anger he displayed while discussing the situation. He should rot in jail for what he's done to boxing. This isn't about one fight anymore. This is about destroying an entire sport, Rogan allegedly said during the podcast, sending shockwaves through combat sports media.
There's maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 Anthony Joshuas that can punch, that can avoid punches, that know what they're doing in the ring. So Jake will struggle at top level, but he has a place in boxing if he wants to stay, in my opinion. So credit to him and his team for getting him this far.
Despite Jake Paul's team threatening lawsuits against anyone making these accusations, the next step in the controversy remains unclear. It is unknown whether authorities will take action or if the situation will eventually fade away. Rogan's explosive comments were reportedly a direct response to boxing promoter Lou DiBella, who released a viral video questioning whether Anthony Joshua gave his full effort against Jake Paul. This wasn't a real fight. Joshua was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort. Something wasn't right about this, DiBella said in his social media post, which quickly spread across boxing platforms.
When people question, whether fights like this are quote-unquote real, like Deontay Wilder said something, what's the simplest answer you give them?
I give them a cease and desist letter in their email for lying on my name, and then the lawsuit's coming right after because these people won't stop lying.
Although Jake Paul's team has denied all allegations and threatened legal action, the brutal knockout itself showed that Paul was clearly hit with full force when Anthony Joshua landed a devastating right hand. Ironically, Joe Rogan was one of the people who defended Jake Paul before the fight, praising him for having the courage to face such a dangerous opponent. Now, Rogan is suggesting possible jail time, highlighting just how dramatically the situation has changed.
This was supposed to be Anthony's payout, but he's not seeing a dime. Anthony doesn't get the money anymore because he broke the rules. Simple as that. You break the code, you lose the purse. We're moving on.
In a previous podcast, Joe Rogan had praised Jake Paul, telling his audience that Paul deserved respect for taking such a risky fight against a legitimate heavyweight champion. This is one of the craziest propositions of all time, Rogan said before the fight. You take a guy who just fought a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you put him in the ring with one of the scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Rogan repeatedly warned about the danger Paul was facing. If that right hand hits you, you're done. This is a giant Olympic gold medalist heavyweight with one-punch nuclear power. He's a specialist at putting knuckles through your brain, Rogan added. He's going to be terrifying. He's going to be angry that a YouTuber wants to fight him.
Throughout all those fights, but it's still like when you fighting like fighters who actually done it for their whole life, it's a little different.
Sadly, Rogan's prediction came true in the worst possible way. However, his stance completely changed after everything that emerged following the knockout. Jake Paul was brutally defeated by Anthony Joshua in the 6th round of their fight at the Casa Center in Miami. The bout carried massive expectations, especially from fans who believed Joshua would finish Paul within 2 rounds. Paul's strategy was obvious from the start: survive as long as possible by moving, clinching, and avoiding Joshua's power. Contrary to expert predictions, Paul made it to the 6th round before Joshua finally landed a devastating punch that broke Paul's jaw in 2 places.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. He's got to go forward. So now he's clenched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. Jake was fighting for his...
The 28-year-old Paul used every survival tactic available, repeatedly falling to the canvas and grabbing Joshua's legs whenever the former champion got close enough to land clean shots. Video footage of the final knockout showed terror on Paul's face just moments before Joshua's right hand crashed into his jaw with brutal force. Paul collapsed to the canvas as the referee immediately stopped the fight. Joshua celebrated while Paul lay on the ground, spitting blood. Paul was rushed to Miami University Hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery lasting several hours. Surgeons repaired his shattered jaw using titanium plates. The knockout was undeniably real and devastating. Gervonta Davis posted on social media, writing, "That's what happens when you step up to real heavyweight power. Respect to both, but that was brutal." He later added, "Jake Paul just found out the difference between fighting old men and fighting a real champion in his prime."
I'm just so proud of him. My mom has it.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean, other heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
Anthony Joshua credited Paul in the post-fight interview, saying, "Jake Paul did really well tonight. I'll give him his respect. He got up again and again. It was difficult for him in there, but he kept trying. It takes a real man to do that." However, days later, controversy erupted when people questioned why it took Joshua 6 rounds to finish someone he was expected to knock out immediately. As accusations of a fixed or influenced fight spread, Jake Paul's team responded aggressively with legal threats. Nikita Bydarian, co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, appeared on the Ariel Helwani show to defend Paul and address the controversy. Bydarian called the accusations ridiculous and stated that their legal team was already pursuing action against those spreading false information. "Our lawyers are actively going after a number of people," Bydarian said in the December 22 interview. "There has never been any suggestion in Jake Paul's career that a fight wasn't real."
I won 2 rounds for sure, and then he won 2, and then I got dropped. I was doing good. I just think my cardio, just the mental pressure of the big guy and sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more, but it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot.
Bydarian specifically called out Lou DiBella by name, accusing the veteran promoter of making baseless claims. He emphasized that Paul has always competed in legitimate fights and said the accusations were damaging to both Paul's reputation and the promotional company. "I saw Lou DiBella put out a bunch of ridiculous statements and even say, 'Go ahead and sue me,' while claiming this wasn't a real fight and that Joshua was pulling punches." Bydarian said that he also explained why the fight lasted longer than expected. According to Bydarian, Joshua himself had predicted a first-round knockout, but conditions inside the ring changed that outcome. Anthony Joshua said publicly that if he didn't finish Jake in the first round, it would be disappointing, Bydarian explained. The narrative shifted as fight night approached.
Everyone wondering about Jake's strategy. Most of the people don't know boxing, but I will outline one thing that even I asked about. So moving around the outside, to your point, everyone's saying, "Oh, he ran the whole time." No, that's boxing. That's what Floyd Mayweather built his career off of. Especially when you're facing a bigger guy who controls the center of the ring. The only way to properly win is stay on your horse, pivot, switch directions, make a miss. That's the name of the game. That's elusiveness. That's evasion. That's good.
Recently, Joe Rogan changed his perspective after hearing the accusations and witnessing the boxing community's reaction. On the Joe Rogan Experience, he delivered one of his most emotional commentaries on combat sports. "It's not worth it," Rogan said while discussing Jake Paul's future. "There's a price you pay that just isn't worth it. That price is depression, deep depression, and severe brain imbalance that can lead to addiction." Rogan went on to explain the serious damage Paul suffered from Anthony Joshua's knockout punch, reinforcing concerns about the long-term consequences of continuing in the sport.